Good morning. It is your baby boy, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. Back with another creator, really. Mm. If you read the topic, you know what's going on. I'm not drunk, I promise you. I don't even drink. Used to, but I do have a migraine. Hmm. I have always wanted to do a come with me video, but I see so many of them. I wanted to do mine differently. So I wanted to take you on a journey with a creator. And today is, even though I have a migraine, it's probably one of the best days to start. Um, the doctors classify them as migraines. Migraines, I call them creative mental overloads. I have ideas floating around in my brain, and I'm at a little bit of a war with myself because everything that's floating in my brain, I want to do it, and I want to do it now. Um, this past month has been filled with more positivity than I've seen in a while. I've had the downers, but I have had the occasion to talk to, not just chat with or message, but talk to several fellow creators, and it's a cool feeling. Um, I have talked to the likes of Yes Michelle Crochets and Flawless Crochets and Pebbles Picots and Joan Minsky. Guys, I have even talked to Setta's Place. I'm telling you, and Misty's Cottage. All of these conversations have taken place like within the past months, and I cherish and relish each one. I'm so grateful. But even in those conversations, ideas have arisen, and the struggle is simple. Pebs. Hi, love. I just looked up and realized you were here. And it's funny because I did this live, really not expecting everyone to catch it on the replay. I'm so happy you're here. I just mentioned your name. I'm smiling right now, guys, and if you only knew how bad that hurts. But I'm that person. I listen to people around me say, there's no way a person can be that happy. Sometimes even when I'm going through my own personal turmoils, I feel it, my mission almost. Yes, you pebbles, but I feel it, my mission almost to put a smile on other people's faces. And believe it or not, that makes me feel good. So why wouldn't I do something that makes me feel good? And if it makes other people feel good in the process, that's a win-win. That's a plus. I like seeing other people smile. I like seeing people around me having like the worst day they can possibly have and walking away from me with a smile on their face. If it's simply a cyber hug or, an over the phone, hey, I love you, right? Or, in person, a little jokey joke to, take some of the pressure away. Why wouldn't I continue to do that if it helps me to walk away with a smile? Yes, my head is throbbing. My head is bouncing off of membranes right now. And just to move those hooks, it sounded like somebody was throwing chains inside my head. You're right, Pebbles. You're right. Regardless of how you feel yourself, I just, I, I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm struggling with humanity. And like I said, this is just it's a journey through my mind. It's just a journey through my mind. I don't know how long I'm going to be here showing you this journey, but I'm sharing it with you for a while. It's part of my thing. I'm not going to promise that it's going to be every day. I'm not going to promise that it's going to be every week, but we're going to share it. Yes. I think that was the last of what I needed. No. Yes, it is. I need to add the other one. Oh, boy. So, in talking to everybody, I had come up with ideas of more things I want to do. But you're right. You're right. Oh, Pebbles. Oh, Pebbles, while you're here, Michelle said reach out to her. You know what we talked about the other night? She said reach out to her. She's got to. And yeah, so we're going to get that on and popping. I set these up so that it wouldn't be hard. Okay. Thank you, Pebbles. Thank you. So, like I said, I got a lot of new stuff floating around in the brain. And it's stuff that I'm excited about and I want to start it like now. And it's amazing that each phone conversation that I mentioned, and even a few others, I'm sorry, excuse me, and even a few others, including the telehealth meeting with my therapist, there are ideas swimming around in my brain that I really want to do or want to see come into fruition. And, like, for instance, a couple of crochet alongs that I have in my brain I started recording a tutorial yesterday and I had to stop in the middle of it. And I'm like, a couple of months ago, I had 13, 14, maybe 15 whips. As of today, right now, I have 30. Even though there have been some makes in there, 30 is way too many. I I'm asking myself, I'm sorry, I'm asking myself, how did I let it get out of control? So when I woke up this morning and my brain was swimming with ideas, I see exactly how I let it get out of control. It's real simple. I gave into the temptation of startitis, as Michelle calls it. I allowed myself to fall into that trap of, let's start this. Let's work on it. I'm sorry, but let's start this. Let's work on this. Let's see where it goes. I can't do that. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? I'm bearing truths this morning. I'm taking my journey. We talked about my journey. And I got up this morning, like I said, with all these ideas swimming in my head about things. I say your name a lot. I say your name a lot. But I woke up this morning with all these ideas swimming in my head and wanting to put hook to yarn to start each and every one of them. And I had to take a step back, as I did yesterday when I was recording, and realize you got 30 things. Sorry, me edit that. You have 29 items on your hooks and one whip on your needles. And the whip on the needles, when I tell you, okay, I have to begin my video editing, I understand. I understand. And that's fine. But when that one whip that's on my needles, where I tell you it is so close to complete, it's sad that I have put it in a pile over there. And I mean, when I say it's so close to being complete, I'm pretty sure in less than an hour I can have it done. But I got excited about the newness of other items. Michelle, I just thought to ask you if you can hear me and if you can just type a yes or no. Did you receive something this weekend? Okay, so I figured that I had to get a grip. And part of me getting a grip means that I have to either, hmm, maybe today, I have to either slow down, redirect, or get my thought process under control. That's not easy for me. I'm going to be completely honest. My mind is so childishly playground that I understand fully what squirrely means. It is so zip, 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 zip. that it's scary that this is the mind of a 61-year-old woman. When I first learned to crochet, I was 5 years old. I was that bouncy, bouncy person, couldn't be still, highly intelligent, had to show everyone I was intelligent. You know, the same energy my grandson gives me, I was giving to everyone else. I had to let everybody know how much I knew. And it started irritating my babysitter. There was not a time she could get me to be quiet. Looking at TV didn't help. Watching her crochet didn't help. I'm sorry, helping her cook didn't help. None of this helped. So she started teaching me to crochet. First I started rolling balls of yarn. That's how I started. It was fascinating. She would take a skein, and I don't know where I started saying skein. I've always grown up with skein, and I jumped into a community where some people say skein and some skein, and I flip back and forth, but skein. And I don't care how that skein came, she would drape it out across her hands, and I had to roll the ball. First, I was the yarn holder. She would transfer it from her hands to my hands, and she would roll the ball. But then I graduated to ball roller, and I started rolling the ball. And to watch those loose strips or strings turn into one huge ball was so fascinating to me. It was exciting. So when she gave me my first hook, which was plastic, and had me to make a single chain, she did the slip knot. So I started with chains, and I had to make 4 chains, and I had to make 4 consistent chains. She didn't want 5, she didn't want 3, she wanted 4 chains that looked very much alike. And she was strict about it, and she was hard on my knuckles. I'm telling you. And I would put that hook down and try to go to something else, and she would, no, not today. Today we crochet. So I stayed on the chains for about 3 days. And once I got that together, then we did the slip stitch and made it a circle. I didn't have loose tension at all. So I was splitting fiber to make this slip stitch happen because I crocheted so tight. But she wanted them to be consistent. That was her main concern. I graduated into making my first granny square. And that granny square, I forgot how many we used, but it turned into, I think it was 8 granny squares, if I'm not mistaken. But those 8 granny squares turned into a poncho. It was a green and white poncho. And then she taught me how to make the tassels, and we made a tam out of a granny square. Once we got started on the crocheting part, excuse me, I think watching her is what gave me the speed, because she was amazed at how quickly I got it done. How quickly I grasped the concept and how quickly I got it done. So I made that, and then she wanted to give me something more challenging. This woman actually went to the hardware store and got some twine. The only time you will ever hear me talk about twine is when I'm relaying this story to you. Because as much as I hate to admit it, I hate working with, oh my goodness. Ooh. It's rough, it's thin, it's ugly, it dries out your skin worse than any yarn I've ever worked with. I mean, it's worse than cotton. That was a disgusting journey because I had to make like the edges of your sheets. I had to make a lace that went along that edge. That was her project for me. I was so frustrated with that lady. Oh, I was frustrated with that lady. But I got it made. And I don't remember, excuse me, I don't remember what she had me doing except double crochet and chains. But I remember a little bit about how it looked, but not enough to duplicate it. I guess because I detested it. So now I remember the poncho and I remember the tam, but I don't. And my mom kept that for the longest time. She sewed it onto a sheet and she kept it forever. But I think from there, not loving crochet yet, I found it an easy go to. And I didn't have the ideas back then that I have now. Um, I wish that in my teenage and young adult years that I had some of the ideas that I have now. Um, my trajectory, probably my life's trajectory, probably would have been different because amongst my ideas right now, I want a yarn store. When Joanne's first started talking about going out of business or filing bankruptcy, I was like, man, to take a store like that over would be absolutely amazing. I, especially with my retail experience. And then the thought hits, uh, excuse me, excuse me, you can't walk from your bedroom to your living room. What are you going to do in the store? Like I said, I would love to own it. I would love to have people there who wanted to work there. And I have trained, I have retrained, I have, and when I say retrain, most of the time it was retraining what someone else had done or getting people out of bad habits that they had developed. But owning a yarn store, having access to that much yarn to me is creates a euphoric feeling. Um, is it addictive? Yes, absolutely. I go into Walmart supposedly to pick up a creamer, and I immediately go straight to the yarn. And I can tell you from day to day just about how much yarn they've sold the day before. That's sad, y'all. that that is sad. I miss Joanne so much that I will travel to Dollar Tree. And when they're unloading their truck, I will move their carts out of my way so that I can get to the yarn and complain about why is it that every time you all have to endure truck hits, why does the yarn get sacrificed? You all are moving yarn quickly. So why is the yarn always sacrificed? You know what? You may have touched on something. Wow. Wow. And it might be. You know my family lineage. But yeah, I don't know. But it's to just go and be around the yarn, in the yarn, to look at um one ball, one cake, one skein, and see a whole project. The smell of the yarn, the feel of the yarn. It's just, I don't know if you all remember, but there was a time that my bed was full of yarn. That's how I would sleep. That's an addiction. That is, I'm not going to say it's not healthy because there's really nothing wrong with it. It's not impeding my life. It's not keeping me, well, in a way it is. Because along with Michelle's diagnosis of me suffering from startitis, I'm failing to complete the projects that I need to have done. So this is where the war steps in. This is where the confusion comes, or the conflict. There are new things that I want to do. I want to turn my room into as much crochet as possible. I want to leak that outside of my room. I have given away so many washcloths. Just follow me on this journey for a second. I have given away so many washcloths that I think we are down to the basic 12. Um, I had hundreds, and I want to rebuild the washcloth stock. I want to make shower curtains. There's just so much. I want to make curtains for my room. I want to line each of my drawers with a crochet mat. I want my backdrop for my videos to have some sort of crochet thing to them. And I just got a diagnosis added. I'm a sample Sally. I take that. I accept it. I accept it. But the turmoil is beating myself up for the non-finished whips, the incomplete whips when they are so simple. Like yesterday, I started doing a tutorial for the baskets that I'm making. I mean the project bags, but I was making a little one. Do you see how tiny this is? Seriously? So it's like this can be whipped up in like maybe an hour, 15 minutes, an hour, 30 minutes, but it didn't get finished. It became yet whip number 30. I gotta do better. I have to do better. Thank you. And I already started putting items in it. I have the rest of the cake that I was using. I have a yarn needle, and I have a tape measure. And they fit in there so well. And the chip holder, yeah, they fit in there so well. I would love to crochet all different sizes of containers. I was sitting, good morning, Joan. Oh, bless your heart. How are you feeling, love? I'm sitting here going crazy, and I'm taking the world along with me. And Michelle, you're the brain that's answering the question that you had the other day. Uh, Create a reward system for finishing projects and create a punishment for you know what? I'll go with the reward system. The the punishing system I think is what I need to get out of because I wallow in that for too long. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to change. That's why I was saying the first thing we need to do is, however the thoughts are coming, jot them down. I don't care what thoughts they are. I don't care if they seem to overlap. The first thing we need to do is write our thoughts down. Because even in what I've said today, I have told you all about the whips that I have. I've told you about the things that I've done over the past few days. You know, starting this when I should not have started it yet. Doing a tutorial for this one, the knitted scarf that should have been finished months ago. This is actually the bottom to a different kind of um, project bag. I even bought the material to line the bottom. Didn't buy the needle and thread that's needed, but and then I look at the scrap blanket that's right here, not finding a home for the printer yet. So I think that what I think the first step for everybody is write all of those ideas down, even if you just set aside an hour and each and everything that pops in your head, just write it down. Write it down. Um, have a flip notepad that you just walk around with, or even in your phone and notes or whatever, and jot those things down. Good morning, sis. How are you? So good to see you here. But and then when you think you have everything written down, leave that page open. Leave it aside so that anything else that pops up can go on that list. But come over and start you another list. Look at the list that you have and start weeding through it. Start grouping those ideas together. Okay, tutorials. What do I want to do a tutorial of? Crochet along. What do I want to do crochet alongs with? Um, um, Whips. What do I need to finish? What are ideas of things that I have? What phone calls do I need to make? What do I need to get my cleaning process going? How am I going to go about? Just do all of your headings and get all of these things together. No rhyme or reason right now. You just want to group everything. After you group everything, then go back and give everything an alphabet or a number. What is the main thing I need to do? The main thing I need to do is clean off my bed. That's under cleaning. So cleaning is number one. So each one of those main headings you want to prioritize. And then you can, I know the word, y'all forgive me here lately. Words have been escaping me and it's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. It's frustrating the Jesus out of me. But you want to go back through the list under the main topic and prioritize each one of those. After you do that, then you can start making your plan. And what I suggest in making the plan, taking the number one under each one of your titles, make those the first things that you do. Unless it goes beyond number four. I always say take the top four. Um, because those are usually the things that you have to do, those things that you cannot go another moment without tackling. Like, I know, as bad as I feel today, dishes have to be done. um, the kids have to be fed. They get out of school early, they have to be fed. I have to make sure that they get other things done. My laundry basket is just about full, so I have to wash clothes. None of that has said anything about crocheting. Yet here I sit this morning, but I had to get my headspace right. So I know when I go up and put my clothes in the washer, then I can turn right around and sit in my tall chair and at least wash the dishes that are in the sink. That was just created this morning still. But from there, by the time I have cleaned everything that I can reach in the kitchen, um, then quite possibly, depending on what setting I put them on, it'll be time to switch the clothes over to the dryer. That's about the extent of what I can do in the laundry room. Rest of it, I have to wait on the kids. But if I get that done, then that's two things off my list that I can get done. As far as my crocheting, what sounds good in my head is that I want to complete 5 projects today. That sounds real good. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it probable? No, no. Is it feasible? No. Then that means that I sit here and I do that only and nothing else gets done. That's not going to work. It's not going to happen. But it sounded real good when it came out of my mouth. It did. I finished I won't finish the tutorial. I'll probably start another whole tutorial. But I would finish this little basket. I would finish the little project bag. I would finish this project bag. I would get on my scooter and ride over to Michael's and get the needle and thread that I needed to go ahead on and attach the bottom to this. There are, I can just reach out and grab many, many, many items. As far as the blanket is concerned for my paranormal buddy, all I have left to add is his name and his other 2 channels. That would take less than a day's work. Like I said, I need to replenish the washcloth supply. I got 2 tones of cotton over here. I could make washcloths, but I've got to get control of what I have. I got some things coming up with some beautiful people that I've talked to um, in the past week, you know, and even though they're future projects, my mind wants to start right now, you know. Um, and like I said, that's my struggle. So I'm going to take my own advice. I am going to write down the junk that's on my brain. It'll probably take about a page and a half. I don't know. And then I'm going to sort through and see what I can actually get done this week. And here again lies the problem. This week, Saturday, I have my auction. I have, okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. But I have my auction this week. And every week, that every time I do my auction, I try to have at least two new makes to add to the arsenal of things that I have to auction off. And if I've not completed anything, how do I have anything to add to it? So, yeah, I've got to get this in order. I can't tell you this much. Just talking to you guys and the feedback that I've gotten from you, my headache is not as pronounced as it was. It has eased up a lot. So I thank you guys. I thank you so much. Maybe I found part of an answer. Because usually I have to sit here in my thoughts until I'm laying down and those thoughts become dreams. And I wake up feeling worse than I did when I laid down because the head is really throbbing then. But I want to thank y'all for that. I've taken up a lot of your time this morning. And I appreciate the fact that you all have jumped in and hung in there with me. I really, really do. My heart is going to stay big because you guys are filling it up so much. And I love that. When you go back, and those that didn't catch it in the beginning, no, nope, that was another video. I had started another video. I am going to try to release a snippet of that video from earlier. You can actually hear my device on. Yep. The coffee is hot this morning. It is my Folgers 1850 Black Silk. Mm-mm, said it wrong. Folgers 1850 Black Gold and the Caramel Macchiato International Delights. It is 14 ounces. I did 8 ounces on strong, 6 ounces on strong. And it's strong, hot, tasty. Yeah, all the things. And I'm going to check into that, Michelle. I have been finding people here lately. I have. But yes, like I said, I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm not going to prolong this. I'm going to go ahead on and get this list done, get this bag completed. Definitely have to get this done. And I definitely want to get this one completed. And then I'll probably work on the blanket for Dalen, being that we're making plans for him to come to Virginia to do the TPO, and that's going to be exciting. I'll be on somebody else's YouTube channel. So, yeah. And then I want to get back on, plus the video for the Wildflower Oasis drops today. Don't forget that, guys, if you're following along with that. The blanket is working out to be absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful before, but it is so gorgeous. And this is 24. I think this is the fifth one to drop, if I'm not mistaken. But it is absolutely beautiful. It is, oh my goodness. I don't have it like right in reach. I do. It's back there. Okay, that didn't feel too good, but I'm going to work on that today as well. And my sons is my sons. But yeah, there's a lot that I need to do. I'm gonna go ahead on and get it off here and get to it. Rest sounds wonderful. Um, it sounds wonderful. Um, the kids get out of school early today, so there's the rest. I love you guys. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Um, and I want to remind you to please be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. And until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.